When Jake moved into Willow Creek, he thought he'd finally found peace. A quiet suburban home, friendly neighbors, and a sparkling blue pool behind his house, his dream life. But peace didn't last long, not with Karen living 3 doors down. She was the self-proclaimed queen of the HOA, the kind of woman who believed every lawn, fence, and even the color of mailboxes was her business. It started small, a warning note about the wrong shade of Jake's garden lights. Then, she complained about his pool parties, even though they were just family barbecues. But the real trouble began one Friday morning when Karen showed up uninvited. She wore oversized sunglasses, holding a clipboard like she owned the world. "Jake," she said sweetly, "we're hosting the annual HOA summer party this Saturday. I've decided your backyard will be perfect. Your pool, your space, you'll love it." Jake blinked, unsure if she was serious. "You're hosting your party in my pool?" Karen smiled wider. "It's for the community, dear. Don't make this difficult." Her words weren't a request, they were a demand. Jake felt the sting of disbelief. Something in her tone told him this wasn't over. As she walked away, waving her clipboard like a royal decree, Jake had no idea that her arrogance had just started a war she couldn't win. Jake tried to be polite. He thought maybe if he reasoned with her, things would calm down. But reason and Karen were strangers. She sent an official HOA email the next morning: community event, hosted at Jake Miller's pool. She hadn't even asked for permission. Jake marched to the HOA office, demanding to know how she'd approved this. The board members, mostly Karen's friends, shrugged. "It's already scheduled," one said. "It's tradition." Jake's jaw clenched. Tradition or not, it was his home. That evening, he confronted Karen in front of a few neighbors. "You can't just take over my property." "Oh, Jake," she laughed. "You agreed by joining the HOA. We all share here. Don't be selfish." Her tone was smug, her smile triumphant. Jake realized then she thrived on control and people's fear of confrontation. But he wasn't afraid. As the weekend drew closer, Karen began sending instructions, pool decorations, food deliveries, even a DJ. Trucks started arriving at his driveway without permission. Jake stood by his window, staring at the chaos. The woman was delusional. By Friday night, he decided enough was enough. He wasn't going to let her throw a party in his backyard. But instead of arguing, Jake planned something that would make the whole neighborhood remember him forever. Saturday morning arrived with sunshine and the smell of fresh-cut grass. Jake woke early, calm and steady. Karen had plastered flyers everywhere: HOA Summer Gala, 1 p.m. at Jake's pool. By 10 a.m., caterers showed up, confused when Jake refused them entry. "Ma'am told us to set up by the pool," one said. Jake smiled politely. "There's been a change of plans." Meanwhile, Karen strutted around the neighborhood in her floral hat, announcing how gracious Jake had been to offer his home. "It's going to be the best event yet," she bragged to anyone who'd listen. But inside Jake's backyard, something unexpected was happening. The pool pump roared to life, not to clean, but to drain. The crystal blue water began spiraling into the ground, swirling down the drain like the end of a bad dream. Jake watched it calmly, sipping his coffee. By noon, the pool was dry. Sunlight reflected off the cracked tiles like a mirror. He covered the area with caution tape, adding a simple sign: "Pool closed for maintenance." At exactly 1 p.m., Karen's guests started arriving. Her confident smile faded when she saw the empty pool. "Jake! What did you do?" she shouted. Jake shrugged. "You wanted my pool for your party. I just made sure it's safe for everyone." The murmurs began. The neighbors whispered. And for the first time, Karen's authority began to crumble. Karen's face turned redder than her lipstick. "You ruined everything," she yelled, waving her arms. "The entire HOA is here. How could you be so petty?" Jake remained calm. Petty would have been calling the police for trespassing. "This is me being polite." The crowd's laughter stung her pride. People began leaving, embarrassed by the scene. Karen stomped toward Jake's front door, furious. "You'll regret this, Jake Miller." I'll have you fined for this and much worse. But deep down, she knew she'd lost control. Jake had turned her arrogance into a spectacle. That night, HOA emails flooded her inbox, residents questioning her leadership, her authority, and her unauthorized event. Jake received quiet thank yous from neighbors too scared to speak before. "You did what we all wanted to," one man whispered as he passed Jake's fence. Still, Karen wasn't done. She called an emergency HOA meeting, demanding Jake face disciplinary action. But when Jake arrived, he carried something that silenced the room, a printed copy of the HOA bylaws, Section 7, Property Rights. He read aloud, "Calm and clear, no HOA member shall use or occupy another member's private property without explicit written consent." Karen froze. The board shifted uncomfortably. The silence was deafening. Jake looked her in the eye and said softly, "Next time, ask." In the days that followed, Karen's influence unraveled completely. Residents petitioned for her removal as HOA president. She tried to play the victim, claiming Jake sabotaged her event. But the truth was undeniable: she'd overstepped, and everyone knew it. Jake's act of quiet defiance had done what no one else dared. He'd exposed Karen's entitlement for what it was. The new HOA president even visited Jake, apologizing for the ordeal. "You handled it with class," he said. That weekend, Jake refilled his pool. The sound of rushing water was peaceful this time, a symbol of control regained. As the last drop settled, he smiled, remembering Karen's stunned face across the street. Her once proud house now stood quiet. Curtains closed. Her shiny SUV gone. Rumor had it she moved out of Willow Creek, unable to face the humiliation. Jake leaned back in his chair, the evening sun reflecting off the calm blue water. Peace had returned. But this time, it wasn't fragile, it was earned, and that was the final twist in this unbelievable HOA story. If you loved the drama, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment sharing your thoughts. It really helps this channel grow.